We have strict rules. Talking about business. Abdul Ghani, founder and chairman of Youth Inc. International Foundation. What's the name? Dr. R.J. Kalpana. Economic policies. I request the panelists to please get comfortable. I know you're used to standing and moving. And with that, I also invite Uday to, would you be happy to give us a little demo? Like we talked about? Krav Maga, ladies and gentlemen. Would you like
Hi everyone. My name is Uday and I've been a Krav Maga practitioner now for about 9 years. Krav Maga is an Israeli form of street fighting. It's not a martial art. It doesn't have that concept of respect, honor, Zen philosophy. None of that. You spend a whole year learning about that in traditional martial arts. We like to get to the core of the subject immediately. We don't like to waste time. As our moms have taught us when we were young, son, don't waste time, do your homework right away. Right? So Krav Maga essentially was born from a need. Was born from a need to keep people safe. Was born from a need to keep your women and children safe, because they were the first people that were taught this, not the men. The men, we're used to taking a beating for centuries now. According to biology or anatomy, our face has become such where we're used to taking punches. So this was taught to women and children first to keep you safe, and eventually it became one of the most sought after fighting systems in the world. Yes, and I'd like a male volunteer from the crowd. A male volunteer from the crowd. I see a lot of guys holding phones and just sitting there. You know, guys, come on. Let's do a little physical. Let's do a little physical workout. Come. No one's like, no. He's talking about beating up people. I will not go. Your grandson? You're being offered up as tribute. Come, please come. Please give him a big round of applause. He has no idea what he's getting into. Give him a big round of applause. I'm sorry if I block you a little. Please. See, you see him, he's a big guy. I'm a little smaller than he is, so I have a height disadvantage. See, the concept of Krav Maga was always small person against big person. It was never about two people of the same size. It was always about the little girl against a bigger man, right? Why was it about a little girl against a bigger man? Because at the end of the day, it was identified that women need to feel empowered and confident about themselves. Because when it was started in 1930, was a time where it was a male-dominated society, right? And women needed to feel confident and strong about themselves. If a small girl cannot do this, we do not adopt it. It is not adopted, it is not talked about, yes? So from the simplest thing of, today in India, we have issues that range from domestic violence, to eve teasing, to rape, right? These are words we don't want to bring to our lips, even when we talk about it within our circles. But these are problems. These are problems we have. These are problems we have to identify with and accept. We cannot say that they're not there, right? So now I'll demonstrate something very simple. Please hold my hand. Yes, as tight as you want. The most common way a woman is pulled is by a hand. Yes? Again, please. As tight as you want. Like, you're not hurting. Yes? The idea is very simple. The idea is to work with what you have and what's easy to learn, right? Now, you saw me yank my hand out. You saw me yank it out. I didn't yank it out. I played his body against his. So I essentially worked my elbow towards his. What happens then? Your wrist can only move so much. Beyond that, the hand has to open. If it does not open, you end up breaking your wrist. Right? So Krav Maga, nothing else. Krav Maga is based on these simple principles of body physics. Ladies, give a big round of applause. Krav Maga is based on these simple principles of body physics. So I will give the stage back to you. I will talk about self-defense a little more once the ladies are. And the gentlemen as well. Yes?
Thank you. Thank you so much for that very dangerous demo. Not at all, he says. Not at all.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for this invitation to be here. Dr. Harbeen, as well as the entire organizing committee, and thank you all for the opportunity. It's been wonderful. I've been here since morning and I've been listening to all the deliberations. See, as far as mental fitness is concerned, definitely the kind of food that you choose to eat is very, very important. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure all of you agree, right? If you were to eat some curd rice or else if you had a biryani now, I'm sure you would feel sleepy by now, aren't you? Yeah? If you eat pongal or idli or dosa, after 2 hours, I'm sure if you were sitting in a class or else in a lecture room, you would feel so damn sleepy. Haven't you all experienced that? Yes. So all the time. Yeah. So the food that you choose to eat is very important, and especially you'll also have to see as to where it is grown. You must have heard of all the organic foods. In fact, I was just talking to my friend Meenal, who's come from. Could you just raise your hand, Meenal? She's from Mumbai. She's a photographer, and she recently took up a 100 days journey of just being on raw food, and she's shed around 21 kgs. But then more than, yeah, round of applause for Meenal, please. Yeah, that's Meenal for you. So, but more than losing the weight, the main thing that I asked her was, what was her mindset? There must be so many challenges. Many times we tell ourselves, I'm not going to eat the murukku, the chips, or the bhaji, or the vada, or the tiramisu, or any kind of chocolate, and then after 2 days, you're like, let me have a small piece of, right? So there are these challenges that go within this mind, and that is what, or rather holds you back to go ahead and do something consistently, whether it is exercise or else food. I think your mind plays a lot of tricks. So I think the biggest challenge for anyone who is trying to comply to an exercise routine or else to eating healthy, first thing to tame or rather to take control of is the mind. It's all just your weight loss or else just staying fit and healthy. When no one is watching, what are the choices that you're making as far as food is concerned? And where is the food coming from? And before you eat, do you go ahead and bless the food and also bless the farmer who's put that food onto your plate? I think these are factors that you definitely need to remember and rather pay attention to. Another thing is to also raise your energy levels, because all of us are multitasking. We have to take care of our homes, and then there are challenges which come at work as well. And then you're also trying to go for a Zumba class or else a dance class, and then some of you are running behind their children or rather grandchildren, and then you need energy to see through the day. So where does that come from? I would say the basic thing would be sleep. Very, very crucial. Besides the food, sleep is the foundation, because all of us are very busy looking at the social media. I think that is one thing that really has messed up our lifestyle, and that's also one of the reasons why hormonal instabilities and all that have come. And next is sunlight. Are you getting enough sunlight? Ask yourself. I'm sure most of us are not stepping out at the right time to get enough sunlight, so that's another very important factor. And are you drinking enough water? So did you go ahead and help yourself with a lot of water? If you've been sitting here since morning, did you drink enough water is another thing, because I can see Sakina reaching out for a bottle of water. Thanks, yeah, good. So awareness, I think, is the key. First thing to remember, the kind of foods that you're going to choose to eat, and then make the right food selection. You always have a choice. So even in the buffet, I saw Meenal going ahead and taking the sprouts and raw salads. She didn't eat anything that was cooked. So you do have a choice, irrespective of whether you're going to a park, hanging out with friends, or watching a movie, or perhaps out there in a conference, the kind of food choices that you're going to make will definitely be a key factor. I'd pass it on to.
I didn't know it was about my story. Anyway, I started my journey with a friend telling me about the middle age spread. And I was 24 at that time, and I thought I reached my middle age. And I started my exercising with that, thanks to her. But I think age has nothing to do with exercising. And I think the first thing I learned in life is you have to be fit with your body, because that's the foundation of, I basically believe in when you're physically fit, you get mentally fit. And when you get mentally fit, you're spiritually fit. And an example is when we come for a class and we can't touch our toes the first day, and then everyone keeps saying, oh, we're so, we feel so discouraged that we can't touch our toes. But then with discipline and with commitment, by the end of the month, when you can touch your toes, you say, wow, I can do it. So the mind says, of course, where there's a will, there is a way. And I think then it becomes even more easier for you to evolve from there. So I feel like, and I always believe that you have to take care of your body, where else are you going to live? So I think that is something which I believe in, and I think I've spread that. I think I've spread that beautifully from the past 33 years I've been teaching, and for the past 40 years I've been exercising, and I supposedly feel like I wish I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8 go down to my grave. Will you please give a clap for me for that? I think in Chennai, I can never hear anyone clap for someone else. And I think that's what I've always done all my life, always encourage people to encourage each other. Guys, it's so beautiful when you clap your hands for someone else. I think it's lovely. Yes, thank you. And like I'd like to say, I think what is nice is that I've managed to get my family into fitness. When I say family, I mean my children, my grandchildren, and hopefully their children. So I think that ends my story. I think I like to connect everyone through exercise when I feel like, I think my foundation is my exercise, and I think I connect people with, hold your hands, there's so much of love, come on, love yourself. When you're exercising, tell yourselves, I love you, thank you for being there, you're doing great today. So, I keep saying that in the class so that the people coming to me say that and they take that home, which is so important, guys. I think just love yourself as you are. I don't think you need anyone else to tell you I love you, then telling yourself I love you. That's my motto in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shaini and Suraya. Very important. One is diet. Diet is very, very important. And it's true that if you don't eat right, then you're not going to feel right. If you don't feel right, then how do you do right? By yourself, right? And ma'am, it's very important to love yourself, because that's where your self-esteem and your confidence comes from. If you're not going to believe in yourself, then fitness, mental fitness, and believing in yourself, they all work hand in hand. If you're not going to let yourself accept yourself, then fitness is a very, it's a quantum leap for you on a daily basis. Dr. Kalpana, we'd like to hear from you what your thoughts are on fitness and, like you say, mindfulness.
I would like to thank Dr. Harbeen Arora for creating this beautiful platform. And for the past 2 days, there's been such wonderful energy that's been floating around Weston, interacting with all women entrepreneurs. I received a call from Lakshmi Shankar. I would like to thank her as well. And she suddenly dropped a bombshell, inviting me to speak on women and self-defense. For a few seconds, I was quite startled, because my background is in technology and business. And heartfulness meditation. So I wondered, I accepted it because she asked it of me, and I wondered what I would say. And I have this to share with you. The first line of defense is the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. There is this beautiful poem by Rudyard Kipling. I would just like to quote one line from it. When there is nothing in you except the will that says to them, hold on. And so you hold on. That's what I tell the patients, cancer patients, multiple sclerosis patients who come to me for meditation. My grandfather was 97 years when he had a hip fracture, and the doctors refused to perform surgery on him, saying that anesthesia might be too tricky and might be a challenge. And he has to be bedridden for the rest of his remaining life. But my grandfather belonged to an entirely different generation, and the doctor's word is the last thing he would hear. So he told him that I will have the surgery without anesthesia. And at 97 years of age, he had his hip surgery done without anesthesia. And he started to walk again with all the physiotherapy, which frankly he himself took upon to perform. And he lived way past 101 years of age. And this is what I tell corporates, the young inductees in corporate companies, when they come, with their educational degrees and great ambitions in their hearts and minds. At the first instant of setback, they plunge so deep into depression, they plunge so deep into a failure mentality that their paths do not anymore tread upon success, but upon substance abuse and suicide. So I tell them, strengthen your mind, strengthen your willpower. Your self-worth doesn't depend upon materialistic accomplishments, doesn't depend upon external attributes. Develop your self-worth. Your self-identity is who you are on the inside. And that's when the healing begins of the body, mind, and soul. There is a very ancient Persian couplet which I would like to quote. If of thy mortal goods thou art bereft, and from thy slender store 2 loaves alone to thee are left, sell one, and with the dole buy hyacinths to feed thy soul. What it basically means, if there are only 2 loaves of bread that you have, only 2 loaves of bread of all the materialistic possessions you have remaining, keep one to feed your physical body, but sell the other one and buy something to feed your soul. Soul food and soul nourishment is of far more importance. And that is the only thing that will sustain you in the long run. A marathon runner requires a different attitude, a different approach than a 100 meters dash. And we are all marathon runners. Some of us have seen the long haul in life. And some of us are too busy to live life, and we have no time to die. So I thank you all for giving me this opportunity. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's all part of building your self-image and yourself to be able to accept things in life, which is again, like ma'am said, your mind is always your first line of defense. If this breaks, it doesn't matter how many hours you've spent in a gym building your body. It doesn't matter how many hours you spent on a mat learning how to break out of locks and bolts. If your mind breaks, at the end of the day, you've got nothing left. Doctor, I'd like to understand from you what you feel about the need of self-defense today in our society, and how important it is for women to go out there and actually take this up.
Vanakkam. It's a greeting from Tamil Nadu. I thank Dr. Harbeen Arora who has invited me. I was just telling the person who was comparing, I met her in one of the event in Varanasi conference. That's where I could able to connect with the Women Economic Forum. Like I was wondering, what is this? I have heard about World Economic Forum, and what is this? There were many common friends who were coming from various countries and talking about Dr. Harbeen Arora, and then they immediately connected me and she wrote an email telling that there is an event in Chennai, you should come. Then I have accepted, and till yesterday I was in Kerala in rescue. I'm an international disaster rescue person. So I've been doing various disasters, basically an environmental activist. I was there in the previous panel discussion. Then I said I'm nowhere connected to my topic. Then they said the next panel at least you can try to talk. Then I thought no, it is little making sense because women empower and women self-defense. So the women which I am very close today, we've been reading on papers, TVs, the rape of a child, the rape to a woman, even a senior citizen is being raped. I'm not going to talk on that rape, maybe about the earth. See, the earth is to me, the first mother. We always connect an earth to a mother. We never say Father Earth. We never say, we don't compare it to anybody. We compare it to a mother, a woman, the first woman which I encountered in my life. Today, that is being also raped. The city today where we are, if you look, 5 things which is very important to anybody, any human: food, air, water, shelter, and clothing. This is the basic respect that any human wants. Like how we have 70% of water in our body, same thing, this earth has 70% of water. Like how cloth is important to a human, the cloth of this earth, Mother Earth, is trees. Unfortunately, today it is being drastically cutting down with various urbanization, smart city, and recent days with lot of disasters. So the city where we are here, if you see the global standards which say is 33.3%, which any city is supposed to have. Today, if you look at a city in Chennai, we have just 5%. And what will happen to this 5% after 10 years? What will happen? So literally it will become zero. Today, my dear friends, there's so many innovations, so many technologies are coming, but is there an innovation or technology which can absorb carbon dioxide, oxygen, and give oxygen? No, it is only trees which can do. So recently, I'm going to launch a unique campaign which I want to announce it here. It's called Tree Ambulance. And what is this tree ambulance is? Like we have ambulance for human, we have ambulance for animals, Blue Cross, and this is a unique ambulance for trees. Why I thought of this idea was Chennai recently, when Varda happened, close to 1 lakh of trees being uprooted. And all these trees which been uprooted are just sent to the woodcutter, and finally, already the percentage is less and further less. So this ambulance, what it will do, it will try to replant wherever the trees are uprooted. And even during the Chennai flood, what happened, unfortunately, two old couple, when they were finishing the pilgrim and coming, they were standing next to a tree, and that tree happened to be a dead tree. Unfortunately, during the flood, it fall down on them, and both got immediately collapsed and died. So because my subject is more on to environment, and I feel Mother Earth has to be protected, and if it is not, it will become a big issue. And today the land where we are living, it was not given to us just like that. Many people have sacrificed their life during the freedom. Even now at the border, so many people are there in the border just protecting, safeguarding this land and also the people. So I feel it's everybody responsibility to plant at least minimum 10 trees in their lifetime, and to take care of this. I thank the organizer who has given me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much. I'd just like to add to that a little bit before they start ringing the bell for me also. Women's safety and women empowerment go hand in hand today. We, as a population, have to recognize the fact that our women and our children eventually are our future. You cannot build a society by pushing two away and trying to build it on the shoulders of one. Yes, like the panel before us said, that you need to first recognize a problem and then you need to address it. This is a problem which we are all refusing to recognize. This is a problem that is very much present in front of our eyes that we are not really looking at. We had a very gruesome incident that happened in Delhi in 2013. What we call the Nirbhaya incident, right? Post which a Nirbhaya fund of about 1,000 crores was set up, and it has been 5 years, but you don't hear about the fund. The money has been allotted, but it has not been used to properly educate women in how to protect yourselves, how to take care of yourselves. Self-defense for children and for ladies, it does not matter what your age is very, very important. I'll ask a simple question. How many of you carry a bottle of perfume in your bag? How many of you carry a pen? Right? How many of you carry a really large handbag? It's like a lot of people said that when children or women have to be taught self-defense, they need to go in for a class, they need to, really go through a whole course as to how to protect yourself. That's not true. That is not true at all. What you have, self-defense starts at home. You need to be taught how to use everyday things as something that can protect you. A large handbag can be used as a, how many times have we swung our school bags and hit our friends, right? When this whole mantra of self-defense started in the country, all these brands brought out these pepper sprays. How many of you actually advise your children to buy a pepper spray? How many of you bought it yourselves? You bought pepper spray, man? Do you know what is more effective than pepper spray? Deodorant. Because deodorant has alcohol in it, and alcohol burns your eyes. You've got something at home that you can use to protect yourself. And then there are do's and don'ts for pepper spray also. Don't ever spray pepper spray in a closed environment, go into your own eyes. Has anybody talked about that? No. You can spray deodorant in a closed environment. It dissipates as soon as it's got a life of just about 2 to 3 seconds in the air. That's it. It doesn't go back into your own eyes. A pen can be used as a weapon. A pencil can be used as something to protect yourself. Everyday things. Self-defense is meant to be simple, not complicated. And that is something that we need to teach our children. That is something we need to learn ourselves. Self-defense, at the end of the day, is simple, not complicated. The day you start accepting that every one of you can protect yourselves, it will be a very, very different society. I'd like to go back to what Sylvia ma'am said about Fit to Fight. Fit to Fight was an amazing campaign. The first time I saw that ad, I was like, wow, I'm not going out tonight. For the fact that it should instill that fear into every man that a woman is capable of taking care of herself, right? It should never be the fact that you see a girl on the street and you have the audacity or the disrespect to wolf her, to pass a remark. No, a woman is to be respected, because if it wasn't for her, there is no you. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for her, there is no you. And that is something that we need to accept, respect, recognize. Women empowerment, women's safety, women's self-defense is the need of the hour. And that is something we all, as a collective in this country, need to work towards. Instead of just saying that, the government's allotted the fund, the government will take care of it. No. We've been an independent country for 72 years. I think the Chennai floods taught us something, that we need to look upon ourselves to empower everybody around us instead of expecting a third person to empower us. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to come here, speak to all of you. It's such a lovely forum, and I think all of us should say this. Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Sorry guys, I'd just like to say something here about empowering. I think most of us, for our parents, if I have my parents, I think we always have the tendency of not allowing them to talk, not allowing them to walk, not allowing them to do what they're supposed to do. We always think, oh no, you're so, you're old, you shouldn't be doing this, don't do that. So I think the first thing we should start doing is we should allow our parents to do what all of us are doing. Yeah, and like I always tell people that the first thing a doctor does when a child is not moving is, child upside down, hit it so that it moves. So our body is meant to move. So please don't give any excuses not to move. You must move. We are born to move, so that's our priority in life, to move, whatever age. That's one. And I didn't thank Harbeen and Sakina. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and wonderful all of you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that very well-rounded and uplifting view of women's health, fitness, mental health. You really covered so many spheres of it. It's very enlightening. Thank you to each one of you. With that, I'd like to invite Mr. Ravi and Mrs. Ravi Dandas, Neelamji, Ravi and Neelamji, please, if you could join us on stage to give away the awards to this. Presenting the award to Uday to collect her award as an exceptional woman of excellence at the Women Economic Forum 2018 Chennai. I take all the stage to accept this honor.